Hey YouTube, it's basically anime, and today we have My Hero Academia chapter 288, Ross leaks, spoilers, whatever you want to call it, to analyze for you guys today. Now we're only missing a panel or two because we actually have the whole chapter of Ross this week, so we're going to see what's going on with this chapter. But if you're first time with this channel, feel free to stick around and feel free to subscribe to this channel and turn on your post notifications so you get notified every time I post. Anyway, we start off this chapter with the raw scans with an airplane flying through the sky. Now, it's safe to assume that this is an evacuation airplane. Now, we haven't seen a lot of airplanes in the My Hero Academia series because there's a lot of people who could fly, swim, run fast. Either way, we see an evacuation airplane. We see some dialogue in this airplane between the pilot and some dude inside of it. Now, I assume it's there to like carry the elderly or sick out of the way. It wasn't really explained in the summary, but on the ground in the next panel, we see multiple heroes and civilians running and trying to get out of the way of Giant Tomakia's rampage. Now, we left off with Giant Tomakia as the League of Villains, or the League of Villains and its allies, were on its back, and it was just rampaging through the cities of Japan to get to Shigaraki. Anyway, we then see a lady trying to get out of the way fast enough, and she barely gets out of the way because the place she was running from, Giant Tomakia just runs through, piles through, and just destroys all these buildings. But on Giant Tomakia's back, we see Tomoyasu, that guy with the Anthropomorph quirk, one of the League of Villains allies, and then we see Compress and Dobby with him, and they're saying something, and they're looking at his computer, and I'm assuming that he has cameras around the cities, as looking at the heroes and the civilians. They're trying to track the heroes and civilians' movements, I guess, and Compress starts to say something, or Compress notices something, and then that leads Toga. When we left off with Toga, as Toga wanted to like mess with the heroes. I don't really know Toga or understand her motives. Like, she just wants to mess with people. She wanted to mess with Uraka. I'm pretty sure she's like jealous of Uraka or something. Either way, she turns around and looks at Tomoyasu's computer, and he's like tracking the heroes' movements or the civilians' movements. I don't know why they would want to be looking at this. Guess they want to be looking if they might get ambushed or something. But she looks at the computer and she sees Uraka and Tsuyu gliding through the city, trying to save as much people as she can, and she notices this, and she remembers in the last chapter, she was like, I want to go ask Uraka that, I want to go mess with Uraka. Either way, she starts to like slap on Compress, and he drops one of his compressed balls, which she grabs and puts in her pocket as she suits up in her like villain outfit, and she's ready to go as she tries to run off Giant Tomakia's back. But Compress in the next panel says, hold up, or I'm assuming he says hold up, but she then says something back to him. But then Spinner says something, and I guess Spinner and Toga got close, because whatever Spinner said made her flash back to Twice, Twice and Shigaraki. Now, Twice and her were like in love, they were kind of dating, they were like two lovebirds, but whatever Spinner says, it causes her to flash back, and Spinner says one final thing as Toga looks at this and smiles, and off panel, jumps off Giant Tomakia's back. Now, I don't know how she land. Maybe she's gonna want to hit her, like, maybe there was like a bouncy house in one of Compress's balls that she grabbed. Maybe, I don't know. Either way, we see Uraka, flash forward to Uraka, who's still on the ground, or mid-air, I should say, and she's staring at which direction Giant Tomakia's go. When Giant Tomakia is going, when you're looking at, you like climb a tree, you want to see how high you are, or like the surveying area under the tree, kind of what she's doing with her float quirk. Either way, she notices Giant Tomakia is heading her direction, but she turns around and sees you the frog girl trying to get this couple out of a building, or out of a hospital building, and Uraka tries to go help her, but as she turns around, the whole building just starts to fall down. But luckily, Siu was fast and Uraka was fast, and they managed to get out the two people, I wouldn't say they're a couple, but the two people out of the hospital safe. But while Uraka is floating or gliding Siu to the ground, she notices an old lady screaming. Now, in the translation, they said the old lady was screaming something about how my elderly husband, he's so sick, he can't get out of the city, I need some help, I need a hero's help. Uraka notices this, and also notices other buildings start to fall, so Uraka said, whatever this lady wants, I gotta do this quick. As the old lady runs through an alleyway, and Uraka follows her and says, why are you running, or something along those lines. And then the old lady's just running frantically until she stops in a certain alleyway, where all of a sudden she transforms back into Toga. Now Uraka seeing this, like, Toga, what is she doing here? She's one of the League of Villains, and she remembers her experience with Toga. But Toga who is currently naked, runs into an apartment building, or an abandoned apartment building, I should say, and Uraka chases after her and looks around but sees nothing. Toga just ran in here, but she's nowhere to be found. And then she keeps looking around, and starts to say something to herself, but out of nowhere, Toga jumps her and holds her at knife point, or tries to like point a knife at her torso. She like jumped at her. I'm guessing that Toga hid in one of these doorways and wanted to change so she wouldn't like fight Uraka naked. So I guess that's what was going on. But either way, Uraka is held like at knife point by Toga. Toga starts to say something, but in the summary that the guy put out, or the guy who releases these spoilers put out, saying, after luring Uraka in, Toga reveals herself and attacks her. Toga says Uraka is really cute and Toga likes her very much and she wants to be like her. So Toga asks what will Uraka do to her. Now I guess Toga is at the point in her life where she's like, do I want to be a villain? Do I want to keep doing bad stuff? Or do I want to be doing some good stuff? She might not be a hero, but do I want to be doing some good stuff in her life? But Uraka is angry because Toga took the old woman's blood and life. So Toga is practically telling her in some of these panels, oh, I killed the woman that I transformed into. She's dead. And then Uraka says, Uraka is angry that Toga did all that just to ask her that, which angers Toga. Uraka says she'll help as many people as she can, and if Toga interferes, she'll capture her right now. So, in her mind, Uraka's mind, she then concludes Toga currently isn't a threat as she just runs out of the room. And she's saying that Toga really isn't a threat to her right now. She wants to go save people. Uraka wants to go help people. And I guess that was the answer Toga wanted. She wanted to see if Uraka, a hero, was a bad person. But Uraka kind of showed her that she doesn't really care about taking down the villains. She just wants to do the good. She just wants to save people. She wants to get people out of Giant Tomaki's way. Now, I don't know how this will affect Toga. I guess I'll get more in depth when the chapter comes out. I don't know how this will affect Toga's psyche or affect her affiliation. I think at the end of the series of My Hero Academia, she might not be a villain. If she is a villain, I don't think she will be one of those bad villains like Shigaraki or Overhaul. I think she'd be more of an anti-hero, I guess, but she's killed too much people to be an actual classified hero. But I don't think that she will sign with the League of Villains. I think eventually that she was gonna part off. Now, she got the answer she wanted. Now I can't wait to get the English translations, because then we're gonna see the dialogue that we missed, some of the stuff that's being said, how the civilians and heroes are escaping Giant Tomaki's wrath. But other than that, this is the end of the video. So let me know what you guys thought about this chapter or the spoilers. Now, if you guys are confused, just check it out. I can only explain so much, but that's it. Now, if you're a first timer to the channel, if you like My Hero Academia spoilers and news and manga and anime related content, feel free to subscribe to the channel and tune in for more content, and also turn on your post notifications so you get notified every time I post.